Coming up on Fulton Today.
I'm Brian Robinson outside the Justice Center building. Fulton County's legal community comes together to show support for those who've been a victim of a crime.
Also, election officials are reminding residents of the upcoming voter registration deadline, and health officials reveal their strategy to end the HIV epidemic in Fulton County. That and more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker. On any given day of the week, hundreds of cases involving some kind of crime are heard at the Fulton County Courthouse, the busiest trial court in the state. Well, the Fulton County District Attorney and the Fulton Solicitor General joined the rest of the nation in recognizing victims of these crimes during this Crime Victims' Rights Week. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now with more on this story. Brian?
Shania, this year's theme, Expand the Circle, Reach All Victims, ensures that victims of crime receive the support and services that they need.
I am a survivor of domestic violence. Let every victim that you know come in contact with know that they have your support, your understanding, and you are willing to support them to help them heal. Thank you.
Those of us in law enforcement, in prosecution, and in the court system need to look at the faces of the victims present here, look at the law enforcement officers who support us and support them, and the people in the community who are affected by violence.
Domestic violence isn't always physical, but a lot of it is psychological and mental. And sometimes that abuse is what's the hardest to recover from.
I am not a victim, which is described as one who is harmed, injured, or killed as a result of a crime. I would like to let you know today that I am a victor, which is described one who defeats an enemy.
Nobody won't hold me down in a position. Nobody won't hold anything over my head. I got too much going on in my life, too many lives to touch to allow a situation like that to just take me under.
By expanding our circle, we are calling on employers, on schools and universities, on healthcare professionals, and even friends and family members. We need your help to reach those victims, to stay connected with them, and to make sure they receive the services they need to try and get their lives back to as close as normal as possible.
Now, if you would like more information about National Crime Victims' Rights Week, you can log on to the Office for Victims of Crime website, ovc.gov. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thank you, Brian. Meanwhile, Fulton County DA Paul Howard, along with the executive director of the Georgia Justice Project, the pastor of Cascade United Methodist Church, and a longtime community supporter, shared news with the media about their meeting with Governor Nathan Deal. The group discussed an essential piece of legislation that would give Georgia citizens convicted of nonviolent felonies and misdemeanors, in some cases from 30 years ago when they were teenagers, the right to restrict those convictions from their records. This meeting was a follow-up to the letter that the group left with the governor during this legislative session about House Bill 981.
He is very much in support of what we're talking about. This is the concept of allowing people who got convictions for misdemeanors and felonies, nonviolent felonies and misdemeanors, to get the opportunity not to check that box upon an employment application.
Though the bill did not advance, the DA is pleased with the support that he and his partners are receiving from the governor. Meanwhile, Fulton County Juvenile Court is planning a major forum with the hope of keeping young people out of the criminal justice system. For the 10th year, Fulton's Juvenile Court will host the 2018 Youth and Law Summit event at the Atlanta's John Marshall Law School on Saturday, April 28th from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. This year's theme is Surviving Trauma, the effects of trauma on childhood development and urban communities. Parents and teens will be able to take advantage of thought-provoking discussions and interactive workshops to find a solution to public health crises that affect a growing number of Atlanta youth and families.
One of the goals is to, first of all, educate parents and then even help children to understand, particularly our teens, that when they are facing trauma, when they've experienced trauma, that is not normal. And so that they do need to get help, they need counseling, they need to understand that when they are responding to it in inappropriate ways, it's because they are not equipped to deal with a lot of the trauma that they face.
The event is free and open to the public. You can call 404-612-4530 for more information. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office welcomes in a world-renowned journalist and award-winning filmmaker to the jail. Raheem Shabazz visited the Rice Street facility to voluntarily speak to inmates in the pre-stabilization program, along with encouraging the inmates to participate in the self-improvement programs at the jail. He also discussed the importance of taking accountability for one's own actions.
I, like many of them, found myself on the wrong side of the law when I was young, and I came to give an inspirational message and a cautionary tale of what happened to me and how I was able to transition into the individual I am now, an individual that is inspiring other people through my documentaries.
Raheem Shabazz's documentaries, Elementary Genocide, the School to Prison Pipeline, and Elementary Genocide 2, the Board of Education versus the Board of Incarceration, received critical acclaim for examining how the education system is failing the African child. Well, time is running out to register to vote in the May general primary, and early voting, well, it's just around the corner. Rick Barron is the director of the Fulton County Department of Registration and Elections. Welcome back to Fulton today, sir.
Hey, Shania, thank you for having me.
So this is the final week to register to vote. Who needs to register, Rick?
People that need to register to vote are those that have moved within the county, moved to the county, moved from another state into the county, changed their address, or anything that changes their voter registration.
And can you tell everyone how they can register?
Voters have many choices when it comes to registering to vote. They can go to the Department of Driver Services, and go online and use Oliver. There's an app the Secretary of State has called Georgia Votes. You can go to the library, pick up a paper application, or any of the municipalities have them in their city halls.
And I know you always recommend to know before you go to the polls. Explain what you mean.
The Know Before You Go campaign that we started a few years back is aimed at voters in a way. What we want them to do is check their voter registration before they go, either on the poll locator that's on our website at fultonelections.com, or by going to the My Voter page with the Secretary of State's office on their website, because we often change polling locations even though we don't want to. We've had more than 25 polling location changes since the December municipal runoff, and voters need to know where they're going to vote and verify that before Election Day.
And Rick, let's switch gears now and talk about early voting. When does that start?
Early voting starts on April 30th. It ends on May 18th. The hours are going to be 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We will have one Sunday open on May 6th from noon to 5.
And how many locations do you have this time for early voting?
We're going to have 21 locations throughout the county. Some of the locations are a little bit different than we've used in the past because a number of the libraries around the county are undergoing renovation. So please be sure to check the early voting sites on our website. In addition, we will be mailing out ahead of household mailing ahead of this election the week before early voting begins. In that mailing, you will find all of the early voting locations listed throughout the county.
Rick Barron, Fulton County's Registration and Elections Director. Always great to see you, sir. Thanks again for your time.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Once again, April 24th is the voter registration deadline. If you would like to learn more about the upcoming general primary election, including online voter registration and polling locations, you can log on to fultonelections.com. And still to come on Fulton Today, a new Homestead Task Force is formed just as assessment notices prepare to hit the mailboxes. We'll explain in our district-by-district coverage next. A new task force is created to address the best strategy for homestead exemptions and the overall tax assessment process. And mark your calendars for Family Fun Day 2018. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage. We begin with Chairman Rob Pitts and his first meeting with his newly created Homestead Task Force. The at-large commissioner invited members of various neighborhood planning units in the Atlanta and Fulton County area and other concerned residents.
The idea for this and the purpose of it is to review all of the various homestead exemptions that are on the books. There's some 37, probably 10 or so specifically related to Fulton County, but they're so difficult to understand, to read for the average citizen to understand, and there's so many of them that people simply don't take advantage of them. And when they don't take advantage of them, they lose out on the opportunity to possibly lower their property taxes.
The group will make recommendations to county officials on how the assessment process can be improved from an NPU perspective. The deadline has passed to apply for homestead exemptions for 2018. But to get more information, you can contact the assessor's office. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. kicks off his 2018 series of community meetings called District Dialogues. The first one for the year was hosted at the Bowden Senior Center, where residents had a chance to meet with the commissioner one-on-one and hear about the upcoming events.
We have an election coming up, we've got our Family Fun Day coming up, and we've also discussed our Living Out Loud program for seniors at the Art Centers, which I'm very excited about because I was able to push it with the Board of Commissioners to get a pilot program to offer services for our seniors at our art centers because they're underutilized during the day.
District 5, mark your calendars. Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. announces the day for his 2018 Family Fun Day. The annual day of fun, fitness, and recreation for the entire family will be held on Saturday, May 5th, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Oak Hill Child, Family, and Adolescent Center. And finally, District 6 Commissioner Emma I. Darnell enjoys watching seniors as they strut their stuff during the annual Fashionable Seniors on the Move production. Participants of the Harriet G. Darnell Senior Multipurpose Facility produce the show each year and wear their own clothes as a part of the fashion extravaganza.
It's enjoyable for the ones that's in the show, and it's a delight for those who are watching the show to realize that we can still move and do what we can do at our age.
This was a wonderful, wonderful show. We want to thank the fashion team of distinction, all volunteers and all participants at the Harriet G. Darnell Center for the artistry and for the commitment and for the major contribution that they make to making this one of the great 4 multi-purpose centers in Fulton County.
This year, WSB-TV reporter Tom Jones served as the master of ceremony, and both he and the sold-out crowd had a blast.
It was a pleasure for me to be here. A lot of them were thanking me for coming. I'm thanking them for inviting me because I think I got more out of this than they got out of it from me being here.
Proceeds from the annual fashion show benefit the Friends of the Darnell facility.
We don't just put on a show for the sake of putting on a show. We put on the show to raise revenue to help provide things that is needed by seniors here at the Darnell Center. And this is just one of those projects, and thanks so much to the community for coming out to support us.
The Friends nonprofit organization raises funds to help offset costs for programs for the seniors. Now, you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with a rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And still to come on Fulton Today, properly installing car seats before tragedy strikes. Stay with us, everybody. Fulton's health professionals present their plan to eradicate HIV in Fulton County.
Nobody became positive. Viral suppression works.
The county's Board of Health Program Administrator released the latest stats and information on the current cases in Fulton County to a group of health peers. The presentation was made at the Board of Health headquarters as a part of National Public Health Week.
Fulton County has a full-ranging epidemic of HIV in the community, but we have a strategy. The Board of Health has developed a strategy to really end the epidemic. We're not content to just let it rage. We're really working hard to make sure that we do basic things that are needed that every person in Fulton County can know and do so we can end the HIV epidemic.
Here are the 3 things Wilson says that all residents should do. Get an HIV test at least once a year, and if you test positive, get into treatment immediately. And number 3, if you are negative but are sexually active, get a prescription for the PrEP medication. It's 1 pill once a day that professionals say reduce the risk of contracting HIV and AIDS. The Board of Health is also launching a hashtag campaign. It's #StopHIVATL to get the attention of the group that is most at high risk. That group, the younger population. Meanwhile, Fulton's Environmental Health Deputy Director answers questions about restaurant food inspections, public pool safety, and hotel scores during a lunch and learn session. This presentation was also a part of the National Public Health Week.
A lot of people are not aware of what environmental health does and who permits the restaurants or the tourist accommodations or the public pools and the other services that we provide.
Environmental health practices protect our everyday lives. To get a look at the restaurant inspection scores in your community, you can visit the Board of Health's website. And in our final look at National Public Health Week, parents and caregivers learn the importance of properly securing children in car seats. Fulton Safe Kids professionals partnered with Union City Fire and Rescue for the car seat checkup.
Make sure that they buckle up, make sure that the child is properly restrained every ride, every time, regardless how short the ride is. We want to make sure that the parents make sure that those kids are in the right child restraint.
A lot of them install them just by using the seatbelt and not aware of the different ways that they do have manufacturer-wise in the car that actually to restrain the seat properly into their vehicles.
According to Safe Kids, vehicle accidents remain the #1 cause of death for children under 14 years old in our country. And up next on Fulton Today, from Fulton's Teen Academy to being idolized by thousands. We'll introduce you to her. Stay with us, everybody. Fulton beautifies properties all over the county as a part of a month-long celebration of Earth Day. Staff with the county's Public Works Department got their hands dirty by creating a garden at Feldwood Elementary in College Park. There was another Earth Day beautification project at the Milton Branch Library. Now, to keep citizens engaged, social media users can follow the hashtag Earth Day 2018 for daily tips and inspiring messages.
Some of the smallest things that you can do in your daily life, especially since Fulton County has over 1 million residents in it. If we think about if every person picked one thing to change, a small detail in their life, they could make such an impact by doing those little tips that we're putting out on social media. So keep an eye out for those this month because they're just little things that we can do every day and put into your routine that don't really change that much.
As an added bonus, communities in need of trash cleanup can call Public Works at 404-612-7400 to receive a supply of necessary tools to help. There's even an Earth Day pledge form that children can fill out. And finally, one of Fulton's own is now an idol to thousands. We got a chance to sit down with 15-year-old Victoria McQueen, who went from Fulton's Teen Academy all the way to Hollywood.
It has been crazy.
She is as gregarious as she is talented.
Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama.
15-year-old Victoria McQueen, Fulton County's own, and now an American Idol standout.
Don't you worry about a thing. It's been a long ride, and I'm just excited that, you know, everybody can see what I've been working hard for, and it's just crazy. I've always dreamed about being on American Idol. I've watched it with my family like all these years, and it's crazy that I'm actually on American Idol. So.
Victoria was one of thousands of contestants competing in the first season of the relaunched version of American Idol, and was one of the lucky ones to make it all the way to Hollywood Week.
You're going to Hollywood! Especially during Hollywood Week, there was so many, like, everything was back to back to back to back to back. So, like, performances back to back. You would perform, then you have to pick a song in a night, then wake up and sing that song. It was crazy.
Before reaching her newfound fame, Victoria honed her skills by participating in the musical theater and voice classes at the South Fulton and Southwest Arts Center Teen Artist Academy. And now, thanks to that training in the Idol experience, she has these words of advice.
Just follow your dreams, and if you work hard at something and you know, just don't listen to what anybody has to say, then you can achieve them. So just focus on you and focus on the people who are there to support you, and, you know, just go for it. Like, the sky's the limit.
Nicknamed Idol Baby because she was actually born on the day that the original American Idol show first launched, Victoria says she won't return next year to the show, but perhaps in a few years. However, as far as being on stage here at home,
might we ever see you sometime gracing the stages here?
Yes, of course. I love the Southwestern Arts Center. I love the instructors here. I love, you know, just the spirit here. I love the community. So I will most definitely be back.
Great to meet you, Victoria. Now, before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. And you can watch a replay of this show and other FGTV programs anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.